Hello and welcome to the corner. I'm the Frosted Glass, and I'm joined by my fellow Alabaster Savages, Jack Gunsky.
Hi. I'm Jack Gunsky. Gunsky.
Yeah. Jack is helping us celebrate Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yes. Excuse me. It's not Black Friday. It's Friday of Color. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to make that joke when I shield, but I didn't know if it actually was Black Friday today because it's like an American thing. So I didn't want to take the chance of being wrong.
Or as I like to call it, Nigger Friday.
Let's see. Moonshock.
We are Moonshock of Will. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
Pterodontitis.
He's greeting Will, and then he's going to greet me. Oh my god!
And this week's special guest, Jack Cochran.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hi, Jack Cochran. How are
Welcome
you?
to this Theseus's ship episode of The Corner, where everything
the
is going
BT.
just fine. All right. So, yeah. Sorry, Tier, but I don't have any explicitly black articles, but I do have one that may appeal to you.
Thank you. Wow. I'm honored.
Capitalism, socialism, communism, and basketball.
Okay.
Starting us off strong. Thank you.
And here we see a nice lefty meme. You could tell because it's not funny. This edition of
Really?
Ethonomics is about one of my favorite topics: economic systems. Economic systems are highly stigmatized, especially in America. These stigmas lead to biases.
What's the name of this?
Huh?
What's the name of this author?
Ethan Snyder.
What's his name? Ethan.
Oh, that's why he's saying economics. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. It's still gay, but you know.
It's yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
at least the joke makes sense now. Like I understand what he was trying to do.
See, I hope he's joking, but I fear he's not.
Economic systems are highly stigmatized, especially in America. These stigmas lead to biases and opinions used as a basis for policy rather than theory and historical evidence. Before I get too far into why American politics are creeping towards socialist policy, it is crucial to understand what socialism, communism, and capitalism are, the connotations behind each, and modern policy examples of each. For starters, capitalism in its purest form is extreme freedom, manipulation, and insufficient economic regulation. There aren't many places on Earth that can boast a purely capitalist society. A capitalist society that leaves economic activity and prices up to the free market, from Brussels sprouts to heart surgery. Socialist economies rely on the same free market, but implement more equitable economic controls to prices. For example, setting a price ceiling on heart surgery, regardless of how high demand may be relative to supply.
Which also imposes a quality ceiling on how good the heart surgery is going to be.
Yeah, just ask Canada. They're doing fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Jack?
No comment.
Yeah. Are you sure you want that heart surgery? Wouldn't you rather be dead?
Yeah, this is the wrong Jack for this conversation.
And I do love that Canadian healthcare has become the Twitter acceptable way to tell someone to kill themselves.
I know. Yeah, I saw Destiny do that. Like, yeah, go to Canada. They got these new procedures that I think you should take advantage of.
Yeah.
Stop. Canadian healthcare yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Communist societies go a step further from capitalism by abolishing price and private property in favor of community/national ownership of all goods and services. A better example to illustrate the differences between economic systems is the world of sports. In this case, we have an all-powerful Brooklyn Nets team with 3 top 10 players in the NBA, while teams like the Chicago Bulls, for example, don't have the same fortune. In this example, points represent money and skilled athletes represent an individual's ability to earn money, e.g. generational wealth, better education, race, etc. A capitalist basketball game would give the Nets 25 points before the game starts because they won their last game by 25, with such a lead compounding throughout the season. A socialist...
Okay, so this guy is retarded. Just in case
Yeah.
there was any curiosity on the subject.
Yeah.
Terry, stop insulting retards. They're not that.
See, now you've offended
But it's
Moonshock as well.
fun. Come on.
A socialist basketball game would have both teams start at 0, but maintain the talent gap. And a communist game would have no score because at the end of each game the teams share the points scored, effectively ending in a tie. With such
So
rules...
notice how conveniently the
No,
socialist
like-
basketball game is the only one that actually makes any sense.
Yeah. Except one problem is that, it's currently capitalist and we have them start at 0.
Yeah, yeah. If
With
you're going
such-
to bring hate facts into
Who
it.
would watch that?
What'd you say, Tier?
I said, who would watch a socialist basket?
I don't know.
It'd be equality of the game.
I mean, if they had, like, the
retarded.
people who get penalties, like, get up against the wall, that would be entertaining.
Yeah.
And a socialist basketball game would have a distribution of points. In fact, the team with the less skill would probably get more because the points the other team made would be taken away from them and given to that, just like with communism.
But you gotta remember, it'd be a game of black people. So how do you square that circle? Like, well, these black people are more oppressed than this group of black people for basketball.
The
How do we-
team
how do we do that?
The
the
winning team
team
gets a
with
free
the
Sonic
black,
trip.
gay, trans women wins.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
you're right. That had to be at least three players for black, gay, and trans women, and then you have to have 2 women, 2 natural women, and a gay, bisexual, non-lesbian lesbian that have a team. Equality.
Yeah. With such rules, the problems of capitalism and communism begin to show. In a capitalist NBA, the Nets would win every game of the season because of their high scoring and compounding lead. Such a league gives their opponents no chance to win any given game, because even if they outscore the Nets in-game, the Nets scored more points to that point in the season, so they win. Likewise, a communist NBA would disincentivize playing because the teams end the game in a tie regardless of how wide the in-game scoring margin is. Capitalism, seen as synonymous with freedom and democracy, disproven in an upcoming Ethonomics piece, promotes work and innovation to the highest degree, but enables an exodus of people into a perpetual working class with low social mobility. Because there was tons of social mobility under communism.
Oh, yeah,
It
naturally.
was.
Well, I mean, yeah, you had the slums, you had the gulag, and you had facing the wall. I mean, that's a lot of mobility.
It's movement. It's not movement in a good direction, but it is movement.
Yeah,
Oh,
movement
and if it's Russia, don't forget Siberia.
Yeah.
Can never forget Siberia.
let's see.
Yes.
I will never get over Siberia.
At its worst, capitalism leaves a vast majority of the population working long hours for low wages to survive, which never happens under socialism or communism. Sounds familiar? Retreating to the basketball example, the Nets, ruling class, have accumulated a level of talent, capital, so great that even if they work 1/10 as hard as their opponent, they'll still win day in and day out. If such a super team did come to fruition in a capitalist NBA, the league, society, would cease to exist. In other words, the other 29 teams would refuse to play, general strike/revolution, if they have no chance of winning.
So I'm starting to think that maybe a basketball game is not the best analogy for social and economic states of, the country. I'm starting to see some holes in this analogy.
Well, yeah, that's what they shoot the ball
You're
into.
starting to see them. I mean, the moment he told me the title, I just saw all the holes in the Nets.
I bet you did.
Go to hell.
Already there.
Now, one thing, pause right here a moment because worked very, very hard trying to find a picture of this person, and they are a rare individual in that they have absolutely no picture in any way remotely able to be tied to their medium profile, despite coining terms with their own name like Ethonomics and everything. So instead, I am entering a picture showing a fair representation of this individual.
Frosted, why'd you write this article and now trying to pass it off as your someone else? I'm on you, Frosted. This is one of yours, isn't it?
I like that picture, Will.
It's
That seems
Ethan
fitting.
Hawke. A socialist NBA seems like a perfect balance between capitalist and communist basketball, personally. In a socialist America, individuals start life granted the same opportunities as everyone else and rely on work to win the game. Socialist NBA allows the Brooklyn Nets, who have built up a fair amount of capital, to go out and win games while affording inferior teams a chance to win on any given night. The Bulls...
Wait, pause. Wait, so you're telling me that there have, in the history of never, a high-ranking team has been utterly smashed by a low-ranking team. We'll go back. We'll use the NFL because I'm fairly familiar with it. You're telling me that the Detroit Lions who have like one of the worst streaks ever, has never won a single game against a high-ranking team, which is a fucking
rub it
lie.
in, Tier. Rub it in.
I'm sorry, my bad.
It used to be good.
But you get what I'm saying.
Back.
You get what I'm saying. Like, you're using socialism. Like, you're trying to say that, oh well, because they don't win enough, we should give them just as many wins without them earning it. And
Yeah,
that's not how any of this shit works.
And to your point, it's as if he thinks that no team has ever snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, too, which Detroit Lions and Detroit Tigers are both exceptionally good at.
Yeah, like you could be have a winning streak, and then all of a sudden one of your cocky players makes a bad play, and shit goes downhill. Luck of the draw.
I mean,
but
nobody can ruin a 20-point lead, right?
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me.
All right, okay. The Bulls know.
Absolutely, for sure. He doesn't like blacks in the hood, and he doesn't want to give them a chance to get out.
The Bulls know that they are likely going to get outscored that night, but they have a greater chance of winning by starting the game level than assuming a deficit too large to overcome to start the game. Communist NBA does not take as much explaining as the other two do. The Nets and Bulls play their game and split points at the end based on which team needs points to survive, and live a quality of life as the others. A communist NBA...
But that's not how... If that's the case, why don't you just give people... 10 points for showing up. All right, well, you don't need to play anymore because it doesn't matter who fucking wins. You both got W's. So how do you?
A communist NBA would have the tickets be a set price or even free given to those people who most deserved it that particular day, and the players on all the teams would get paid exactly the same no matter how much they played and how often, how well they performed, not based on, it wouldn't be a distribution of scoring.
Oh, oh, poor. You know what? You didn't score as many baskets as the other guy. You know what? Your record's just like his. So
I mean, a
you can do
communist
it.
NBA would look remarkably like the U.S. women's national soccer team.
Ouch. Oof.
And they'd play at the Holodomor Dome.
I figured they'd play at the Thunderdome.
There's no men entering, so no man can leave.
A communist NBA that always ends in an equal score provides a slight disincentive to play, but certainly will not end 0-0. With less at stake, teams are naturally less inclined to go out and shoot for 150 in a given night, but encouraged to play because it is what they love. Just like we saw Marie Curie and Albert Einstein pursue their fields for love of knowledge rather than money, the players will play the game for the love of the game rather than winning. The
players play for the love of winning and the fact that they get huge paychecks.
Like, does he not understand why humans have competitions? It's because that we love fucking winning. We love, testing ourselves against everybody. You can't call yourself the best unless you go against the best, right?
No, you're totally wrong here. Humans love equality, fairness, and equal distribution. Haven't you been listening to the article?
No,
Yeah.
He's a fucking he's a retard. I don't listen to retards.
Yeah, and under
Shoot
communism,
for 150 has this person. I mean, does this person realize how relatively rare a triple-digit score is in a basketball game, or am I out of touch? Has that become more common?
Under communism, everything would still get done just because people like doing their jobs.
Yeah. Don't you know at least 10 people who are passionate about cleaning sewers?
Yeah.
No.
No, but I could probably find a couple that are passionate about the paycheck.
I mean, you'd probably have to go to Germany to find the people obsessed with shit.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to get back in touch with Badger.
That's still in the bedroom, not in the sewers.
That's true. That's also true.
Though a communist system will not stifle humanitarian progress, it will slow down if incentives decrease. With the case of socialism, it's essential to realize why non-economic programs like healthcare and education be made publicly accessible. Since the free
systems not stifle humanitarian progress, which is why Soviet Russia had so many philanthropic endeavors around the world, right?
Wait a minute. Remember Mao? Mao was such a humanitarian. Oh, Lordy. All those people that Mao helped, get out of poverty with his programs.
Hey, Mao helped millions out of poverty, hunger,
life,
poor education,
life,
and bad health care. He just happened to do it by ending their attachment to life as well.
Exactly. He helped them out of it. Such a humanitarian. We should model everything after him.
To be fair, it was kind of a Chad move, like, these birds are eating our grain. All right, let's try and make that species of bird extinct.
Yeah, Hoko Sports, this person, the author was an only child, a mama's boy, and a unique butterfly and snowflake. That's all you got to say there.
Since the free market is still having a say in economic activity under socialism, a wealth gap will inevitably exist. The goal of socialism is to reduce this gap so that those suffering as a result of poverty are made whole before others get unreasonably rich.
He
The goal of
spelled communism
socialism is to
wrong.
take everybody to the lowest level.
The goal of
It's-
socialism is communism, I believe, was said by one of its originators.
Nah, they're totally
Yeah.
different.
Do you know how to help? This is how you help the poor. The poor. You keep capitalism. Capitalism has helped more poor people get out of poverty than any other system. In our system, you can start from the bottom and work your way up. Fucking using the best example ever, Ben Carson. Ben Carson started life crappily, but he made something of himself. He became better than he started. Fucking Jeff Bezos. Fucking Steve Jobs. They started bad. They started on the lowest levels, and then they rose up. And now look at them now.
Many
Jeff
of those
Bezos run the
NBA
fucking world.
stars. Many of those NBA stars
Many of
are
those NBA stars started shit levels, and then they rose up. Capitalism
inner
is all right.
city, high school or college dropouts for some of them. Some of them only made it through high school and college because of their athletic ability.
Yeah, and because people wanted to see them play. So now capitalism helped them become better than they are. This author is just pissed that, I don't want to work, but I deserve to be rich. So instead of rising to the top, trying to better myself and better my situation, I'm gonna just lower the fucking ceiling. That way everyone is me, at my level. And I can just reach up slightly and touch it while everybody else is like pushed down. Fuck off. Sorry.
Healthcare and education are vital to an individual's ability to work, and if denied either of the two because of economic standing, the individual is denied the opportunity to succeed. For example, an individual who cannot afford a college/trade education cannot obtain the knowledge necessary to succeed in a higher paying field.
Lies. X. Totally. Fucking X.
Now, there's never been
Right.
a successful person without a college degree.
It's never been a successful person self-taught. It's using this example. Right now in front of me, I have the repository of human knowledge right in front of me. I can look up anything on my phone, on my computer. If I want to know something, I can learn it. Just like that. You don't need to go to college. You don't need money to learn shit. You don't need money. My grandmother, using her as the example, was a self-taught artist. She had a fairly successful business making ceramic art. No one taught her how to do that. She wanted to know, and she learned it.
Sorry, she
There
was a
you
bad
go.
artist. She was a bad artist according to this.
According
Art.
she's a
That's
terrible
a
artist.
scam,
People
and
pay for
everybody
shit.
knows it.
What'd you say, Jack Cochran?
I said you can't teach art. That's the scam, and everybody knows it.
Likewise,
There was a great world leader who failed out of art school, wasn't there?
yeah,
Well, I'm a terrible art student, but people still show up for my art streams, so must be doing something
Again,
wrong.
That's what you're doing it wrong. Clearly, according to this guy, you're a terrible artist and you can't learn it, and you'll never be anything.
I am a terrible
destroy
artist, but that's
capitalism, I
beside
guess.
the point.
See, now I'm glad I don't watch your streams if you're that bad of an artist.
Exactly.
See, I just figure you don't watch my streams colorblind.
have you
Yeah,
tried?
I don't watch your streams because you're on Twitch for the most part. That's the only reason.
Have you tried painting Super Seducer?
There you go.
There you go. I would totally watch that.
I will make you the same deal I made Moonshock. You stream Super Seducer, I'll tune in for that stream.
It's a fair
Likewise,
As long as you tell me that
Everybody
you're doing it, I'm not psychic. I will need to be told.
likewise, if an individual needs a life-saving surgery but cannot afford it, they are denied their right to life for being too poor.
No, that's not fucking true. That's another lie. You can get the surgery. It'll cost you a fucking arm and a leg, but you can get the surgery.
So 1 arm plus 1 leg equals 1 heart. That's a good exchange rate.
If that's the trade-off, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's a good deal. Take it.
But that even then, there's still organizations like if you can't afford something, like you can go to like the healthcare for the homeless. They will get you that surgery. You know, you can get it.
I'll cut anything off for $20.
Yeah, but I want to live through it.
Well,
And now you're just being picky.
beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
And preferably not suffering more pain than I normally do.
Have you
I'll
tried
give
going to Canada?
I'll give you a belt to bite down on.
That's actually kind of more than fair. Is it a clean
God.
belt?
Will Shock, have you tried going to Canada to get your health care?
Like I said, I'd like to live through it.
If there's
Try to
one,
avoid 50 miles of the border because Canadian healthcare, well,
if there is one conclusion drawn from this edition of Ethonomics, let it be that the stigma behind capitalism, communism, and socialism versus the systems themselves are two different things. The American school system often associates capitalism with democracy and socialism and communism with dictatorship. Recognizing
There might be a reason. There might be a reason.
Nah, it's completely
well,
arbitrary.
actually, I mean, socialism's not inconsistent with democracy too, because both are, and communism too, because they're all based on a might makes right situation.
Yeah.
Construction, which is kind of why our
You're,
founding
you're allowed
fathers
to.
hated and
You're allowed to
feared
vote for anyone you want, but
democracies,
you'll only
rightly so.
survive if you vote for the right candidate.
Yeah, the only problem is that democracy doesn't automatically equal freedom.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Let's see.
$40 if it's a big bottle and not the cheap stuff involved.
Let's see. Recognizing the independence and differences between the two is essential.
Yes.
There. Now we all understand socialism and communism
I
Definitely.
understood it before.
in the form of basketball.
That's the crappy system.
All right. Well, with the end of the first article comes the first game. And that is
Which,
Sad Libs.
Moonshock is supposed to inform us is his favorite game or the best game or something to that tune.
Best game ever.
Say
you
the
go.
line. That is
Say it.
Sad Libs Double Prompt Edition, where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out 2 words, and you guys have to fill in those words Mad Lib style. And then the chat will vote on which one is best. So, Jack Gunsky.
I'd borrow a Moonshock statement about DP2, but instead I've got this right here.
Yeah, I want to do an asshole. Ah, fuck you, God son of a bitch!
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, something that happened a few weeks ago on the midnight stream.
Okay.
If you missed it, listen carefully.
I won't say anything.
Like, if
I wouldn't
you and
answer.
Tyr were in the same room, I would assume you just farted.
No, I still want to do an asshole.
All right. So, Jack Gunsky, I need an adjective.
Oh my gosh.
Chunky?
All right, nope. Did someone just die?
Nah, my cat pulled down my cord and I had to catch my microphone.
All right, Moon, I need a person.
Let's go with Stacey Abrams. I know it's usually Jax, but works well sometimes.
All right, Terry, I need a transitive verb.
Subjugate.
It's a good word.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right, Jack Cochran, I need a person.
Let's go with Garrett Hedlund.
Wow, I missed a low hanging fruit that time.
Let's see. So, Terry, give me a male person.
Because Dell is here, I will go with Richard La Ruina, the guy who made Super Seducer.
I don't know how to spell La Ruina.
LARUINA.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, son. Let's see. Jack Cochran, I need a superlative adjective.
A little help.
It's like an adjective, but it's like to the extreme, like biggest, strongest, fastest.
Greatest, best,
Oh.
chunkiest.
Horniest.
That's gonna be either brilliant or terrible. Terrible. Either way, it's gonna be horrifying.
I'm gonna lean towards terribly horrifying.
Yeah.
All right, Jack Gunsky, I need an adjective. Jack Gunsky.
Chunky.
You can't do chunky again.
Oh damn.
Chunktastic.
Yeah, chunktastic.
Oh
That's a good one.
Fair.
Jack doesn't remember his name tonight.
No, we don't.
All right.
Maybe
and,
he's
had
been
that problem
drinking to
too.
put up with you.
and Moon, I need an adjective.
Well, I mean, Garrett Hedlund's out there, so it's got to be like sexy.
Oh God.
Call me.
Call you gay.
See, this is role playing. The current Moonshock understands.
Yeah. This is
I
like
mean,
D and
Jack has
D.
done good too. So
This is like D&D, but more sad.
Moon just rolled a 20 for cringe.
Yep.
Oh God.
All right. So, Jack Gunsky's. My dad is chunky, but I'm a human. Richard La Ruina's statement on his racial identity. All right, and Moon's. Unpopular opinions. Stacey Abrams is one of the horniest MCs of all time.
Oh God.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So dumb.
All right, Terry's. Subjugate all women, unless they are chunktastic.
Nice.
I agree with the first half completely.
You actually found one where subjugate works.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's fantastic. Wow. Okay. I'm amazed.
All right, and Jack Cochran's. Garrett Hedlund is killing sexy people. Literally. It's hard to make up such cruelty. All right. Give me a minute to make a poll so Jack can vote on which is best.
so many good ones out there tonight.
I think mine and Will's are probably my two favorites.
Say,
Yeah.
or maybe that's just the wine talking. I can't do this stream with no alcohol.
If I had no nipples, I'd need alcohol too.
No, is that
Hey, one. It's not no,
One
it's not
nipple.
0. It's 1.
Close enough. I'm rounding.
It's a rounding error. Who to vote for? I guess I'll vote for Moon.
I think I might.
I thought this.
I think I would go for Terry's.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the audience is agreeing with you because they seem to be getting a lot of votes.
A lot of people in chat.
You ain't
want to
rigging it this
subjugate
time,
women.
Gunsky.
God damn it! God
And
damn it!
also
Harry.
we got 40 viewers, but only 24 likes. Which
Let me fix that. Let me unlike one.
Yeah.
which I think they're just saying that because Gunsky is black.
I think that's fair.
I know
I
they
think
don't
the-
like that racism. Just utter racism. They didn't like my
Yeah.
chunk-tastic prompt.
All right, well, I think I can end it there. So it looks like Terry wins with what, 62%.
Wow, that's a lot of votes.
Good job.
All right. And now on to our second article. Just mind your business and don't be a dick, by Will Wheaton.
People.
What?
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, no, because it's Will Wheaton, he has his like Wheaton's law, which is don't be a dick. So the fact that he used that particular phrasing makes sense. Okay, it's Will Wheaton. That makes sense now.
Shut up,
What?
Wesley.
Whenever I post pictures of me and my favorite human on a date, someone has to be a dick with bad faith sea lioning about our masks. There is no
So
point.
Do you know what
What-
sea lining is?
No.
Now.
There's a whole weird comic about it. It's basically asking questions, supposedly seeking clarification, but really just tying up the conversation so it can't go anywhere. Like that's what they define as sea lining.
A type of
So
trolling
the
or
left
harassment
being
that
left?
consists of pursuing people with relentless requests for evidence, often tangential or previously addressed, while maintaining a pretense of civility and sincerity. Or just trying to have a debate, or feigning ignorance of the subject matter.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Alright,
Per
There's n-
Wikipedia, that is, it's right twice a day. Maybe.
there's no point engaging with these chuds, because all they want to do is waste my time and or drag me and anyone else they can into an argument. At some point, I began telling people, what you're trying to do takes two people. I'm not going to be one of them. It's been surprisingly effective. But a couple days ago, someone wasn't a dick about it, and I took the opportunity to say what's been on my mind about the whole stupid issue. I'm posting it here so I can refer to it when necessary, which I hope isn't often.
What? Shut up,
You're a
Wesley.
virtue signaling moron who
Mm-hmm.
He hopes it's very often.
Did he ever come back to Twitter? Because I know he sort of stormed off in a half. Did he ever come back?
I don't
Probably
know.
didn't.
Despite what you have heard, if you look past the headlines, you'll discover that COVID is very much still a thing. And so is the flu, the common cold, and other respiratory illnesses. I
Yeah,
started
but you know what happens?
Also, disease is not stopped by a mask.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
masking
you're-
during the pandemic. But was the cold not a thing before the pandemic? Because
no,
I
it
did-
wasn't. It all started in 2020.
Frosted. Didn't you hear during the pandemic, the cold just stopped existing. Like the flu just magically went away. All that shit just magically died, and COVID became the new it virus. You know, it became the new hotness. And then after 2023, all those old respiratory things magically reappeared. It was fucking amazing.
But I like the comparison that using a mask to prevent yourself from catching COVID is like putting up a chain link fence to stop the dust getting in. It's like the holes in the threading of the mask are way too big to ever stop like a virus getting through.
That's
But I have to virtue signal. How are you going to know I'm a good person if I don't signal my virtue?
And my favorite
There
thing,
is-
it even says on the box that you buy when you buy the mask, it says this doesn't do shit against COVID.
There is one thing about masking, and I make this point often, and it upsets some people and everything. And it's kind of like the cold and the flu too. If it is aerosolized, the mask isn't going to do squat. If it is borne on water vapor or droplets, a mask will help prevent you from spreading it to others. If you're sick, well, mitigate. It will reduce the chance. It doesn't stop it completely, but if you're sick, wearing a mask will reduce the chance of giving it to others.
Yeah.
As far as you wearing it to keep other people from getting you sick, just like the cold, the flu, Ebola, it's not going to do anything.
No.
also
You know what I do when I'm sick? I don't leave my house. I stay in the house, so I don't need to fucking wear a mask. Because if I'm sick, I don't want to be around anybody. I just want to let this shit get through me and out of me. So I don't really need to wear nothing.
Also,
want to lecture him about leaving the house in general, or should I?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Also, what the hell is the point of taking a selfie when you're wearing a mask?
That's a good point.
Virtue signal.
Yeah.
Again, Will is
Quick
just trying
to the virtue
register.
signal.
Is he smiling here or pretending to be Chinese? I don't know.
Maybe.
Yes.
I think he's pretending to be Chinese.
Let's see. I started masking during the pandemic because I didn't want to get sick and die.
Yeah.
I've kept masking when I'm in close proximity to other people, large crowds, or small indoor spaces, because I haven't had the flu or a cold, or, God's forbid, COVID, since I made that choice. I have this particular strain of Epstein-Barr in my body that makes every infection I get significantly worse than it would be on its own.
Did he get that from a particular island?
Yeah.
20. I have 20 on the fact that he's lying through his ass and he's just making shit up.
I mean, he was a child star.
Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
have this rare disease that somehow makes it worse to exist. So you have to protect me. Instead of me protecting myself, you have to mask up and do all kinds of shit, bouncing your head, do a little twirl, because you could kill me. Fuck you, guy.
Oh, hey, Jack.
Yo, how's it going?
Wait, if you're Jack, who's this guy?
Imposter.
Imposter.
Airlock.
Anyone else feel like they're in that scene from Alice in Wonderland? Surrounded by imposters?
No.
Does Della just look like Jack with like a goatee? I saw that episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I can't tell them apart. Who's the real Jack Cochran?
Well, I'm the evil one, so I'm the real one.
So you're the real one. then. Got it.
He's lying. I'm the evil one, so I'm the real Jack.
Who do I shoot? I don't know. Someone tell me.
Just shoot him.
I mean,
It's the only way to
Are we
do it.
doing racist caricatures today? Is that what's going on? I don't understand what's happening here.
he does racist caricatures every day.
What do you mean, racist caricatures?
Nothing.
If you want, you can stay on, Della, if you like.
That's cool. If you get crowded, just let me know.
Fucking Della. I knew it was you all along.
Well, Jack, you're just in time for
Oh, God.
you're just in time for an article about Still Wearing Masks, written by our good friend Will Wheaton.
Shut up, Wesley.
Okay, look, I know I'm late. I'm sorry. Had a thing come up. But there's no reason to torture me.
Yes, there is.
Will Wheaton
Yeah.
and pro masking? Dude, seriously, are you writing these articles?
You're on the show. That's all the reason I need to torture you.
So you're saying that
The
Frosted and
funny
Will Wheaton
thing-
are the same person?
I'm saying I'm not
I knew
ruling
it.
out the possibility that he's impersonating celebrities to try and get laid.
I
Who Frosted
think
is?
Will Wheaton is the
Wouldn't
wrong-
surprise me.
That
Will Wheaton is the wrong
explains why there's
celebrity
so
if
many
that's your goal.
cancellations.
Right?
Makes sense now.
Will Wheaton is the wrong celebrity to impersonate if you're trying to get laid. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, that's fair, but maybe he was like on vacation or something and was like, I don't
I
feel
mean-
like
I
getting
mean,
laid this
Jerry
week.
I would
could
at
be
least go
correct.
with John. I would at least go with Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, there you go. That's much
Yeah,
better.
there you go.
Cooler. Maybe there's some like hippie chick with really hairy armpits that you want to bang, and she's like,
I'm
"Oh,
Will Wheaton.
that's too much toxic masculinity around here." You're like, "Oh, I'm Will Wheaton," and she's like, "Oh, there's no masculinity there."
Well, Terry, I was thinking maybe he's going for the gay slant.
Oh no, Frost is not gay, is he?
No, I meant the impersonating Will Wheaton.
Oh, I mean, you
I mean-
probably could infiltrate a gay bar that way.
You could pick up lesbians because it would be just like having sex with a woman.
Yeah, with lots of
sense.
crying.
Let's see. Okay. I'll back up a couple sentences. I started masking during the pandemic because I didn't want to get sick and die. I've kept masking when I'm in close proximity to other people, large crowds, or small indoor spaces, because I haven't had the flu or a cold or, God forbid, COVID since I made that choice.
20, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got 20 that he masks in his own home with his favorite human being who must be, his partner and not his wife.
Yeah. I bet he wears a
Well, it
mask
could
when
just
he's
be the
alone
latest
in his
kidnapping
car.
victim.
I bet he does too.
His favorite person could just be the most recent person he's kidnapped, and he's like just really fond of this one.
His favorite
That's-
human could be
Never thought
himself.
about that.
Yeah. I have this particular strain of Epstein-Barr in my body that makes every infection I get significantly worse than it would be on its own. It's technically an autoimmune condition, and though it hasn't made anything life-threatening, it's made me real miserable when I've gotten sick. And now I have a really simple way to minimize my risks, while I continue to enjoy sporting events, concerts, conventions, and all the things I didn't realize I took for granted until COVID. It's such a tiny, simple thing, and it makes a huge difference for me. It reduces my anxiety, and it just makes my quality of life better. And that shouldn't matter, but getting all worked up about it is like getting all worked up about my glasses, which I wear so I can see clearly and enjoy my life. It really shouldn't be any different.
Well, there is a difference. The glasses work.
Yeah.
As somebody who actually has multiple autoimmune conditions and all of that stuff, dude, you are weaker than anyone I know. That includes some infants.
It's too bad that so many people have decided to make yet another personal health choice that is none of their business, that doesn't affect them at all, just another part of their culture war. And it tells you everything you need to know about a person when they are a dick about it. From a practical standpoint, I took this picture at the Flyers game. The guy next to me was coughing and sneezing his face off the whole game. It would have been so awesome and considerate if he'd worn a mask to protect all of us from whatever he had, but he didn't.
What if he was choking? Wait, what if he had drank his beer or drank his drink, and he started coughing because it went down the wrong pipe, right?
No.
It's not like fucking dying. He didn't have anything. He just started coughing. Shit
Or,
happens.
or what if he was deliberately trying to get Will Wheaton sick because he recognized him?
Well,
That's cute.
maybe. But no one recognizes Will Wheaton.
Whether it was just allergies or a cold or something more serious, with minimal effort and no disruption to him, I protected myself from someone who wasn't protecting me. That's basically why I wear a mask whenever I'm in a crowd, and why I wish it wasn't
isn't my
such a
job.
big stupid deal.
Frosty, it isn't my job to protect you. It's your job to protect you. If you want to go outside and wear your gay mask, then wear your gay mask.
You're not thinking like a socialist. It's the government's job to protect you.
Until they choose to go with Canadian healthcare as an alternative.
Yes, exactly.
Did he just make an excuse to carry guns?
Not deliberately, but yes.
Yeah, it reduces my anxiety. I feel much better in crowded places.
With my gun.
Right? Guns, yeah.
I see a lot of thank yous for wearing masks in our photos. I appreciate the kindness, but we aren't making a statement. We aren't modeling behavior.
No, not at all.
That's
And
why I
it's
wrote
people
an
as
article
crazy
about
as you
it.
saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole article, I'm surprised he could type it while he's sucking his own dick like that.
We are doing what is best for us, period. This isn't a statement, it's just a personal health choice. If it helps normalize the entire thing, I'm happy for that passive bonus, but it's not something I'm spending an action or even a bonus action on.
That's so you remember that he's a nerd. He's got to throw that in.
Yeah.
Well, then he would say standard action or swift action or something.
Well, he played 4th edition, so let's not get too into the nerd cred there.
There you go. You know, anybody play 4th edition is a fucking retard. Hence what we.
I haven't heard someone complain that I wear shoes into a restaurant. And I haven't ever had someone thank me for wearing shoes in a restaurant. I hope it will be the same with masks sooner than later. It's nobody's business, and the only people who are dicks about it are dicks about everything else anyway. There's
Was
a
this
100
article written?
November 15th.
Of this year?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Shut up, Wesley.
Jean-Luc Picard followed by Mr. Mackey.
Just walk around in a Darth Vader mask or something.
That would be cool.
No, this is what he need to do. He needs to build himself a protective bubble and roll around in that bubble. That way he is shielded from everything. You can't get
Because
sick.
then he'll get into a fight over whether it's the Moors or the Moops. You don't want that.
There's a 100% chance that someone will show up here to be a dick about this. They can't help it.
Reporting for duty.
Hi, hello, how are you doing? Over here.
I'm just tired of this being not just a thing, but a big, stupid fucking culture war thing. So, mind your
You're
business.
the one that made it a culture war.
It's only a cultural war issue because it is you guys want to force it on. We don't care. Well, at least for me, I don't care if you wear a mask. Wear your gay little mask. However, don't force me to do it. I don't want to wear your gay little mask. Again, if you want to sit there in your car while you are alone and wear your gay little mask that doesn't do anything, go right ahead. More power to you. But don't jump down my throat and say, I'm trying to kill you because I refuse to put on a fucking mask. I don't give two shits about you. I just want to go about my day. And if you should happen to die in my presence, oh fucking well, because you probably fucking deserved it.
Someone faithless in chat was saying someone should DM him the research that debunks his mask beliefs. He would just block you. I know this because he blocked me without me doing anything. Like I never interacted with him, and he still blocked me. So if you actively provoke him, yeah, he's just going to block you.
Yeah, he's
I'm
celebrity
pretty sure
well
he has a
judged.
blockchain.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has Steve Shaw's blockchain, so
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's just like Steve Shives, only a celebrity.
Set phasers to pussy. So, mind your business. Do what's best for your health, and in consideration of the health of those around you, and don't be a dick. Thanks for listening. And this got 6.1 thousand upvotes.
No, Jesus
Wait a minute.
Christ.
Yeah, all the fucking leftists. But this is my thing about that. Again, do you want to wear your mask? Wear your mask. Don't try to browbeat me and shame me and then get angry when I don't agree to wear the fucking thing. I'm protecting my health. I've decided that what's best for my health is not to wear that damn little mask. And you decide that what's best for your health is to wear it. Good. I'm watching it out for me. Go ahead.
Also, don't be surprised if people call you a fag for wearing it out in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Does
looks
it
like
say
someone who's
Bud
been
Light
in
on
the
it?
Actors Guild.
I bet it says Bud Light on it.
Yeah.
I bet his wife has a strap on and pegs him every fucking night. Shut up, Wesley.
All right. And now it's time for the second game of the night, which
Best
is
game.
for chat only, Jack. And that I was talking to Blackjack.
Oh, okay.
So
And that is
Jack Gunsky is out of character because this is something that Tia Alexander would say, not something that Jack Gunsky would say. So I don't know why Jack is acting.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. That was I hate this game, and it's unfair that I can't play it.
Yeah, that's better.
Color.
Man. We should have had a rehearsal. All right. All right. So
we're doing it on the fly. We're doing it live.
This is the caption contest, where I'll show a photo of a political figure or event, and then the chat has to come up with a caption for it. And whichever one we like best, I'll tweet out after the show. So this week we got some good old protesters gluing themselves to the road at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Only thing I heard about that was the video that showed the guy screaming because they were tearing his hand off the road. And I'm like,
well, I think they should just leave them there. I mean, they'll regret the decision soon enough.
Look, wait a minute, Paul. This is also in New York. Leave them there. Just leave them there. They'll never do it
That's
again.
exactly what I just said. They'll regret their decision soon enough.
but yeah, just keep the parade going and just maybe start with Santa's float instead of ending with it, because you got to have it be the fresh carnage, not the tail end carnage.
Wait a minute. And mind you, it gets cold in New York around this time of year. Just leave them there.
Or just send in a street sweeper.
I'd
Let's
pay
see.
money to watch that.
Oh yeah, put that on pay-per-view. You pay off the national debt.
Let's see. What a college education gets you. Target practice. Let's see.
That's a good one.
Speed 3 parade bumps. Forward march double time. We got the blood from trans women. Elf fell from the shelf. Can Snoopy just gobble me up? I'm on my period and he'll love the extra flavor. But
Ew.
the fuck are you talking about?
That's very specific.
All right, these speed bumps sure are screaming a lot.
Wait a minute, you skip green badges. Just stop oil really phone in for their flow. Ouch. Fucking hell, green badger.
Sweeper, a snowblower. Snowplow, you don't want to spray it all over the bystanders.
Let's see. Climate activists on their way to a Halloween party incorrectly set their daylight savings time by 3 weeks.
You don't have to write a novel, guys. Just a quick caption is much, much better.
Let's see. Wear a lawyer with a gun when you need one. Let's see. And for my next trick, can I have frickin' hearts in the way?
Mm.
Can I have a second? I'm coloring.
Oh,
There's a U in there.
There's no you
Yeah.
in color. Oh God, no! What the fuck
There
is
it
you?
Spelled correctly. Get over it.
Yeah.
okay.
Again, those of us with guns should say should make the rules.
I've got mine.
Bloody road gnomes. She told me her period was over. Where's a drifting trolley when you need one? I think I'll cut her off there. So, what are you guys' favorites?
I'm going with bloody road gnomes.
I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
with Blade Road. No,
Yeah.
See, I like the one about the speed bumps. Sure, are screaming a lot.
That's what I was going to go with too.
All right. Okay, so me and Terry went with the speed bumps. Who went with the road gnomes?
Ah, myself.
the Jacks.
Okay.
I did as well.
All right. Moon.
What else did I say? I'm gonna go with the speed bumps.
All right. Well, we have a tie. Let's see.
I suppose you could just show both of them after the stream. It's not that big of a deal.
Um, yeah, all right. Well, I'll tweet both out then.
Congratulations, for, Rodden and who else? Keller.
Kyler.
Kyler, Keller, Killer.
All right. And now on to our third article, which I won't give the name of.
Oh God, that's always a
Oh,
problem.
Lordy.
Yeah, that's not good.
The Gaza Health Ministry reported a large number of casualties from an Israeli air attack at a hospital within the Palestinian territory. The number of fatalities resulting from this single vicious attack was far greater than any other attack in Gaza during the conflict. Mai Al-Khaila, the Palestinian Authority's health minister, described the strike on Al-Ali Allah.
Foreign.
I don't know. Prince Ali Hospital during Israel's 11-day bombing campaign in Gaza as a massacre. According to her, it resulted in the death of hundreds of people. For anyone who pays attention to current events, they know why this is already funny. All right, it's Ashraf Al-Qudra, the spokesperson of the health ministry, reported on Wednesday that numerous individuals had perished in the explosion and that recovery teams were still removing bodies from the wreckage.
Now,
And
were those the bodies that I saw online moving or not?
Yes.
Okay.
In the immediate aftermath of the blast, the head of the Gaza Civil Defense announced that 300 lives were lost, while sources from the health ministry stated the death toll was 500. As the U.S. President
it's the classic 500.
Yep. As the U.S. President Joseph Biden was about to embark on a trip to Israel, the reports of a hospital strike and numerous fatalities generated widespread condemnation from nations all over the world. Russia and the United Arab Emirates requested a United Nations Security Council gathering, and violent skirmishes broke out in the West Bank.
If
The
those
UN
two are calling a United Nations Security Council gathering, it just reminds me of a very good reason to get the UN out of the US and the US out of the UN, or maybe just bomb them. And I missed my cue. What's this idiot's name?
Can we just glass the can we just froth and glass the entire area? Be done with it.
Omar Ibrahim.
No bias there.
Totally.
What?
He's an outstanding Jewish man. Don't you judge him by his name.
I'll do what I won't.
The UN reported Tuesday that an Israeli airstrike had impacted one of its educational facilities, where roughly 4,000 people were taking refuge, leaving 6 dead and several injured. Israel's military has stated that it is...
Hold on. Wait a minute. So let me get it straight. So he said 4,000 people in a building that was destroyed, but it only left 6 dead and several injured. Now, I'm not a good mathematician. Like, I failed math a couple times in school, but something tells me that the number should be slightly higher if it indeed happened. Just slightly.
No, see, they dropped one of those rubber bullet bombs. That's what it was. Just it was a non-lethal one, and the people that died of heart attacks because they were scared.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
I figured they died of, they were close proximity, because I mean they'll still have to, fire out with decent velocity. So the ones that were closest to it probably got ancillary damage and fragmentation.
Yeah, all the rest
Outer
made their
casing.
saving throws.
Okay.
It was like a level 2 spell.
So it's only full damage on a fail and half on a save?
Yeah. Israel's military has stated that it is currently examining the report. Those who have been forced to leave their homes due to the bombardment by Israel have been gathering at hospitals, hoping that they will be able to find safety in their vicinity. But even in hospitals, there was no safety from Israeli bombardment.
Maybe if you didn't gather around places that were being used by Hamas to launch attacks on Israel.
Or maybe if you didn't, wait a minute, I got one better. Maybe if the Hamas wasn't using you as human shields, assuming that the Israelis wouldn't give a fuck, y'all wouldn't be hurt.
Look, if the Jews had just, ignored all the rape and murder, this would be fine. I don't understand what the problem is. Instead, they're on this tear of vengeance to blow stuff up and murder innocent people.
One of my favorite responses to the whole, that they're firing from, civilian places, and that's why civilians are getting hurt, came from Hassan, where someone brought it up, and he said, well, where are they supposed to lob rockets from?
Maybe they aren't supposed to lob rockets at all.
As if there is no choice but to lob rockets.
Well, he looks exactly like I pictured. Thanks for that photo. Look,
I need to look it up.
I'm pretty sure Hassan.
That is his official picture too. So there's no hijinks there. That is his Twitter profile picture linked from his Medium account.
That just makes me sad. No, the fact that Hassan said something stupid shouldn't shock anyone. The reason we only ever see him in his room and maybe his driveway is probably because he's got a collar on that keeps him from going out of the yard. Like one of those shot collars they put on dogs.
No, he's hiding from Sam Hyde.
No,
that's what that is.
No, that's
Mr. Jack, but it's not one of those ones with like the underground fence around the yard. There's a different kind that has a transmitter in the house, and if you get out of range of the transmitter, it starts shocking. It doesn't stop until you get back within range.
Oh, no, I don't think it's one of those. I think it's a tracking one, so if he goes too far, some really nice gentlemen in white coats come and get him. Because I'm pretty sure he's in a group home. I think he might actually be retarded.
I just like that.
Insulting retards.
I just like that since this whole thing started, Ethan Klein was like, oh, my friend is a monster.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Wow, it only took them 100 years to notice that.
all right.
Better late than never, I guess.
So, the Waffen SS, who are also known as the Armed SS, served as the military division of the Schutzstaffel, a paramilitary organization within the Nazi Party. Comprised of individuals from Nazi Germany and individuals who volunteered or were conscripted from occupied and unoccupied territories, the Waffen SS played a significant role in the committed numerous acts of cruelty and violence by the Nazi regime, namely their role in the
Relevancy?
Holocaust. Huh?
I'm just asking relevance.
Hold on. Namely,
Uh-oh,
their
go
role
back
in the
down.
Holocaust, the Porojmos, never heard of that one, and various war crimes and crimes against civilians. The international
Your
military.
grammar in that attempted, that horrific failure of a sentence is a crime against humanity.
Well, his
The
hairstyle and his general look is a crime against humanity. This is just.
I'm not even
I
an
can't-
English major, and that's a crime against humanity.
I agree.
The International Military Tribunal in Nuremberg declared them a criminal organization in 1946. The IDF and the SS, two faces of the same coin.
Wait a minute. So you're equating the legitimate military of a nation to the secret police of Nazi Germany.
They're equating
Yeah.
the aggressor with the defender.
No, I think what they're doing is they're confusing the SS for that sniper wolf chick that was like fine with YouTube was fine with her doxing people. I think that's what the
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just tired. Find a new bad guy. What, really? You got to go back to the Nazi well over and over again? Come on, it's like
Well, see,
Harry
they-
Potter
they-
references.
They can't use terrorists because guess who's doing all the bad shit?
Yeah,
So
that's
they
who
got to
they're
go to
defending.
another group.
It's
Yeah, but,
because all the other bad guys are on their side.
Yeah, basically.
I guess.
Well, even
Ter-
Hitler was kind of on their side. It's just,
Yeah,
Terrorists, Stalin, Mao.
I mean,
So,
they could.
wait a minute. I just realized something. Them equating Trump to Hitler is actually a compliment.
Hmm.
Huh.
It's
That's weird.
an atrocity like no other. The vicious, unhumane, isn't it inhumane, attack on a hospital in Gaza by Israeli forces, the IDF is actually outperforming in its atrocities Hitler's SS, the bloody military Nazi group who were the main criminals in the act of the Holocaust. Is the Holocaust different? Is the Holocaust any different than the genocide happening now?
Yeah, they
Yes.
can't.
The Israelis are really suck at committing Holocaust compared to Germany, which was doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
See, this is their problem. This is their fundamental problem. They're not committed. When they go in, they need to just start mowing down men, women, children, cats, dogs, birds, just everything. Really, really wipe that area clean. You know.
If
they're
Israel
not.
wanted to commit a genocide in Gaza and started right now, Palestine would be cleared before morning.
Palestine would be a sea of glass by dawn.
Yeah, and
Like it'd be no comparison.
yeah, and for anyone who doesn't already know the hospital bombing that he's referring to, yeah, it turns out that it was a jihadist
Failed rocket.
rocket.
Yeah, it was a Hamas rocket that hit the hospital parking lot.
Yeah,
The
it hit.
hospital itself had only marginal exterior damage.
How
Yeah.
dare you minimize the death of all those Decepticons?
Yeah, it
Wait,
destroyed.
They-
It destroyed some cars in the parking lot, and did anyone even die from it?
Hold
There
on.
might have been
All
one
those
or two.
Decepticons were slaughtered by Optimus
No.
Prime. How dare you? This is proof Optimus
AOC.
Prime is a maniac.
no, AOC died in that rocket blast.
900 times.
No, because AOC died on January 6th. twice.
She told us on
Yeah.
January 7th.
I
Yeah.
do have this did bring one thing to mind, just out of curiosity, because there have been situations where the IDF launching a counterattack has hit what would normally be non-military civilian centers, except that they were being used by Hamas as a headquarters and a place to launch attacks. Let's say for the sake of argument that Israel actually hit the hospital, which we know isn't the case. Do we know that they knew it was a hospital before they launched the counterattack, or is it just we know that an attack was launched from this grid coordinate? We glassed it.
And
You
also,
know,
Not
my
that it
thing-
particularly
this is my thing.
matters on the, say, not that it particularly matters on the ethics of the case with, Hamas launching terrorist attacks and hiding behind civilian locations, which makes them responsible for everything that happens in both directions. But I am curious as to whether or not, for the actual cases where Israel hit places like hospitals and schools, if it was known before, when they're, it doesn't change the moral dynamic. All the blame is on Hamas. I'm just curious if they actually knew, if it was just, hey, this location is where rockets are launching from. Blast the rocket launcher.
yeah,
You know what? The concept of war is sometimes bad shit fucking happens and people die.
What?
You don't start a gunfight with people carrying around fucking machine guns. Don't do that. You started this fight and now you're suffering the consequences of you starting this fucking fight. Fuck right off.
yeah. So as a thought exercise, let's think about what the Holocaust would be like if it was like what's happening right now, where the Nazis don't want to kill any Jews, but the Allies are just running around in crowds of Jews using them as human shields. So they just accidentally kill them. Like the Allies are blending into crowds of Jews like it's Assassin's Creed.
Well,
We
that's
point out
hard.
that in the 40s, they just would have mowed everybody down. We carpet bombed the shit out of Dresden to the point where there were almost no buildings standing. We firebombed Tokyo. Civilians were legitimate targets back then. So the comparisons are a bit silly.
Well, because
Well,
back
were
then
and weren't.
we fought war.
Civilian collateral damage was considered justified, but they still largely targeted locations of military interest. I mean, even Nagasaki and Hiroshima had military significance, not just being civilian centers.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying,
But
population
we
centers.
care now about civilian collateral damage,
Yeah,
which in the 40s and 50s we did not. Nobody
I
did.
don't think that the Germans were like, oh, by the way, civilians, you should go now before we invade the Rhineland. We're gonna come in there and teach somebody else. No, nobody did that shit. They just walked in and anybody got a line, they got shot in the face.
So you're saying
that
that
actually actively bombed London and
you're saying the
any other
Nazis
city in their
didn't.
way?
So you're saying the Nazis before they moved in, they didn't tell the Jews, "Hey, you should leave so you're safe,"
That's correct.
and they didn't commit the Holocaust like basically by accident.
No, see, those were protective camps according to this retard writing this
Wait,
because
those were just summer camps. They were gathering them
Well,
there.
yeah, they were
protecting them. They were feeding them and cooking them.
It's a little known fact that Jews have an abnormally high rate of ADHD in their populace. And these were just camps to help them learn to deal with that.
were all the camps built next to Crystal
to
Lake?
concentrate, so to speak.
Attention deficit Hebrew disorder.
Yes. You see now you're getting.
Well, that's what originally meant until they learned that non-Jews got it too.
Let's see. The genocide of innocent Palestinian civilians How many Hamas fighters were killed, I beg to ask, in this airstrike? None. Only
Well,
sick
that depends on whether or not the Hamas militants killed any of their own in the failed rocket attack.
only sick men, women, and children were at that airstrike. It was a show of power that even defies the heavens. A show of complete brutality, and was criminal in such a way that the mind cannot comprehend. Where is the public opinion on what's happening at Gaza now? Where are the pro-Israeli politicians and pundits? Where is their dignity? Where is their compassion for human life? Today, humanity is lost.
No, humanity was lost long before this. This is just, icing on the cake.
I keep my dignity on a shelf behind me, but it is kept in a case so the cats can't get at it and like bat it under the easy chair or something.
I want to know, in all of this, they're bitching a lot. Why did they take hostages from Thailand?
It's because they were just grabbing bodies.
Yeah, but Asians are distinctly physically different from the Jews because they're Asian.
Again, they were just look. They were just grabbing bodies. They didn't fucking care.
Nope. It defeats their argument that this is a conflict between a total dispute between the Jews and the Palestinians, because they took hostages that had nothing to do with their conflict there. These are just bad people. So why are you taking hostages that have nothing to do with your so-called oppressors? These were people that worked in Gaza.
They were Thai Jews. They were Thai Jews. They
Thai Jews. That sounds like some kind of weird martial art.
Let's see. There is a comment. Comment.
Maybe they taught the Hebrew hammer.
Oh, fair point.
There is a comment pointing out that it was a terrorist rocket. And the author responds, "Wow, please do forward the so-called clear evidence at your disposal." And I quote Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, "Please be so kind as to provide satellite images, and it would be nice if American partners did it." Now, why weren't we handed that evidence? Mark, if you are not outraged by the killing of innocent women and children, then you are, in fact, not human. I don't care if I look foolish in my rage. What I care for is reacting as a proper human being, which you clearly lack.
I do actually care about the killing of innocent women and children, and even innocent men. I am outraged by them being targets and victimized in clashes like this. I just very, very careful to place the blame where it belongs.
Look,
Yes.
this is how I feel about the entire situation. Now, the loss of human life in general is bad, but you started this fucking fight. There was a way to peacefully coexist, and you chose not to take it. You motherfucker over there. You decided you know what? We've been living pretty decently over here with our neighbor, pretty well. But I want what he has.
My official stance has been for a long time that they should just expand the acronym from IDF to IDGAF, which very accurately sums up my feelings on the whole dispute.
Yeah, Faithless with a very good point. He did not demand the same evidence to form his reaction to the incident that didn't happen. So basically, he didn't demand the same level of evidence to form his opinion about the incident as he demands his skeptics provide in their reaction.
What we learned from this...
And the fact that it was a Hamas rocket is well established now.
Now, what we learn from this author is that if you care about something, you will make wild assumptions and fly off the handle at a moment's notice. Otherwise, you don't care.
I like to use this as my example because it was the best way. Do you remember the Ken Ham debate with Bill Nye years ago? Bill Nye said this. you look for conclusions. You have a conclusion. You make facts to justify that conclusion. However, I'm on the opposite end where I look at the facts and make conclusions based off those facts. You know, I want to make
So the answer to that on Bill Nye is no. You start with from conclusions too. We just start with different, we start with different presumptions to begin with.
But what I was going to say is, this author already had the preconceived notion that, and you can clearly look at him from his profile. Where I looked at his Twitter, and you can clearly look at his Twitter and see where he lands on the political spectrum of this conflict. He's biased in this argument.
And he had the same opinion of Israel before.
Yes.
Most recent bout of conflict.
Exactly. So you already hate them, and you're going to make up anything to justify your hatred of these people. And I'm not going to say like I know like everything that Israel has done. I don't know it, but I know in this conflict, the one that I'm currently seeing now, they didn't start this fight, so they're not the aggressor, and whatever they do to defend themselves is fucking justified. You started a fight with people that I got means to protect myself. I'm going to fucking use it. Bitch, you get what you deserve. Talk shit, you get hit.
All right. Well, now it's time for the final game of the night.
This is the best game.
And that is Poe or No Gender Edition. Where I give
final answer.
Where I give you. No, you're Moon, not Jack.
Brian, where's Brian at?
Sometimes.
Let's see. Where I will give you 3 genders from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're 100% real. And, where I give you 2 genders from the... damn it. All right. Where I give you 3 genders, 2 of which are from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're 100% real, and 1 I made up, and you have to figure out which one is made up. There, I got it.
Derailed Frosted. That's a first.
Because he made all these up. He runs that website.
And I'll even give you a short description of each one. All right, so gender A. Repligender.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Xenogender with a strong connection to duplicates, copies, or counterfeit objects. Let's see. Gender B.
I really, really want B to be Repligender again, just for the meme.
Yeah. Repligender.
Oh, wait. Domain lookup does say Frosted Glass is the registered owner.
All right. Gender B. Lizard Boy. Xenogender in which one's gender is related to lizards and being a boy.
Subtle.
Right.
Didn't see that coming.
And
sounds very pedo. It's probably a real thing.
And gender C. Trypophobia gender. Xenogender related to the fear of tightly packed clusters of holes.
Oh.
Is that an
Alright,
Epstein Island reference?
No,
See,
that is a legit, but it is a known fear that
Trypophobia is real.
Yeah.
So I'll start a poll for the chat so they can get in on it. And don't forget one of the options is that they're all real.
Q. I mean, this Tyr Alexander guy is saying Q, and I think he's right.
All right, so Jack Gunsky, what do you say?
I'm gonna have to ask Brian his opinion. Hold on.
That's the asking Brian in this case is just googling the wiki.
C. I'm gonna go with C.
All right, Moon.
I'm gonna go with C, and I'm gonna go with a Jack Gunsky level of analysis on it. I think you were talking today with somebody or a friend of yours has trypophobia, and it's just like that would be a really good one. So I'm gonna stick with C.
I think I
Okay.
have trypophobia, and I just don't want to tell people about it.
Hmm.
All right, Terry.
I'm going to go with Repligenda because you didn't do the meme. I'm going to have to vote for it.
What, the meme of making B Repligender?
Yes.
All right, Jack Cochran.
I don't know, dude. These are all fucking dumb. So I
Well,
still think you make all of them up. I'm gonna go with A.
All right, and
so he's repligendering my answer.
Yes.
and Della.
I'm just gonna go with B.
All right.
There,
Yeah.
all our bases are covered.
So let's see. Chat is leaning all real, and B and C are. Oh no, B and all real are tied now.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Ant-Man and Gender are scared of the lizard boys.
All right. I think I'll end it there. So it looks like the chat went with all real, followed by B.
Hmm.
All right. And let's see. The answer is A is fake.
Oh, okay.
First time I ever got one correct on here.
It's very hit or miss. It's very hit or miss.
All right. And
With the
let's look,
flags.
let's look at the flags for the real ones. So there we
Lizard
got
boy.
Lizard Boy, which is much less interesting than it should be.
That is
So
very
dumb.
boring.
And here we have a trypophobia gender, which just looks like a flag that's been in Chicago for a weekend.
The funny thing is, if that
Easy
is
5
if that is your
minutes.
gender, then you should be terrified of your own flag.
Yeah, that flag would definitely set off. Oh, I've got a friend with trypophobia and sent a picture of that. It's like, it'll set you off and probably get yelled at as a result.
Do it.
These flags
That's a
are
hate
so
note.
lazy.
Yes, of course they are.
Yeah.
All of it
but
looks gay.
most of them are just stripes with maybe some like clip art in like added
Yeah.
onto it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sad.
Well, I mean, matches the gender perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. Half-assed with minimal
I forget.
effort.
Just
and skill.
half-assed. Half-assed.
Did Royal Faggot have a flag or not? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I'll do a quick
oh well.
Google.
Either way, there was an L in that fag for sure.
Because I hope the flag is just like two guys bending over and one of them's wearing a crown.
Ty, I ever mention you're my spirit animal? You say the most beautiful things.
Okay.
I can't find one for Royal Faggot.
Oh,
Aw.
All right. So now for our final article, we are going to cover one of the lesser known victims of racism, but still a very valid one. That's right. Elves.
yeah.
Oh God.
The fuck.
The
Well, I mean,
politics,
it's not orcs, so we're not talking about blacks, right?
the politics of hashtag dwarf posting.
Leave dwarves alone. Dwarves are my favorite race, and I refuse to let these people sully them.
How long you had this
All I know
article
is-
sitting on the shelf?
No. All I know is they are dwarves and they're digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole. Diggy, diggy hole.
They are dwarves and they're digging a hole.
But we here are not anti-dwarven because we all like Dewey the dwarf.
Yeah, true.
I
It's
think
a
it is,
racist ass elf that I can't stand. Fucking elves.
I think it is still fair to say that Gimli is the most widely known and recognized archetype of a fantasy dwarf character. As Legolas,
No.
as
No.
Legolas is for the elves.
Hard no.
They saw one.
And Legolas isn't the most archetypical elf either.
Well, maybe for gay elves he is.
Yeah. Orlando Bloom, every part he's ever played, has long gay hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're an
He's a very effeminate man.
They're an interesting pair of characters together, mostly because their role in the story is defined by each other. They both initially mistrust each other, Gimli to a much further extent. But as they travel
Yeah,
and
there's a reason that like according to the lore of the books, there have been not enemies, but like we'll say hot and cold to each other.
At intimate periods of strife and cold separation.
Well,
And most of the strife.
It stems from an important incident where a bunch of elves paraglided into a music festival.
Yes, exactly.
You don't mess with
and
Dwarven Rock.
Dwarven women.
let's see. They both initially mistrust each other, Gimli to a much further extent. But as they travel and fight against enemies together, they start to open up and respect each other. Their shared struggles against Sauron unite them, but they are also very similar. Princes in their own right who want to protect their people and all the other folks of Middle-earth. By the end of their story...
Legolas was a prince.
Gimli
was
wasn't.
just... He is like the nephew to the cousin of the king.
Did they spell folks Folx?
No,
Probably.
they didn't.
No, thank God.
So the other thing is they weren't defined by each other. They were very, very carefully defined and crafted characters that just happened to play off of each other. They're designed to play off of each other, but not defined by each other. Gimli had his own clearly defined character outside his role in books. That's in Legolas.
I really liked Gimli in Death at a Funeral. That was his best role.
He was a good character in that movie, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, Game of Thrones, not so much, but... You know.
By the end of their story, they become the dearest of friends, and more if you like to read it like that. And as almost every other...
Which you definitely do. Who's this? Asati. Okay.
And as almost every other elf goes to Valinor, Legolas stays in Middle-earth with Gimli until they both sail to Valinor together. It's a beautiful example of how...
Continue, because I want to hear what you have to say.
It's a beautiful example of how Tolkien wrote about friendship and how important it is in the darkest of times. Anyways...
Can you scroll up just a moment? I want to make sure I'm looking at the right profile before you continue. Up. The other up.
Not his up, you're up.
Continue.
Let's see. Anyways, then worse fantasy writers decided en masse that fantasy racism was Tolkien's message and ruined everything. But that's not what...
Well, you just said that fantasy homosexuality was his message, so I mean, are you any different, really?
Okay. So there you can... The lore of the world states that the orcs are fucking evil. It's just what they are. They can never be good because the lore of the world states that. They are inherently evil creatures. You know? You can't make something... If the if the creator of that story decided that these two races are inherently incompatible, it serves as long as it serves the story, then it's fucking okay. Racism in fantasy is part of the fucking story.
Well, you also play into orcs were
Corrupted elves.
corrupted elves twisted by the epitome of evil in that world. And even then, as outraged as the elves were by them, they probably wouldn't have done a lot to them if the orcs hadn't been by the very evil they followed, predominant aggressors.
Wow, I can't believe the bigotry coming out of you guys.
Especially from the black guys too, isn't it? Just fucking on.
That's shocking.
But that's not
Sorry,
what this.
I had to take a break from Tron to dive into the lore and everything. I'll be back to Tron Legacy next week.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Tomorrow morning.
But
later tonight.
But that's not what this post is about. Not on the macro level. It's a complex topic which better people have written about already. I want to talk about hashtag dwarf posting.
Okay.
Dwarf posting is, well, posting about fantasy dwarves. Dwarf memes, dwarf art, dwarf miniatures, and stuff like that. On the surface, very harmless and silly stuff. Like-minded fans posting about stuff they like. Hell yeah, count me in, I like it. But then you look closer and go to subreddits, mistake for sure, and then it turns out that most of it is not about how cool fantasy dwarf aesthetic is or what are your favorite characters or settings. It's about everyone else in contrast to the dwarves. It's weirdly mostly.
Wait a minute. It's because it's it's people that love dwarves and think elves suck because that's what traditionally it is. If you love dwarves, you probably fucking hate elves. You know?
Yeah,
if
in almost every fantasy setting, the two do not get along.
Yes. There are very few fantasy settings where they are buddy as a race together.
Oh,
there are
my
very
God.
few settings like that. Huh?
That is so bigoted.
As a dwarf supremacist, I don't care what the elf lover says. Fucking knife here.
It's weirdly mostly about elves and how much elves suck. They have one joke. They have one joke, and it's about elves. Dwarfs are not valued as they are, only as the opposite of the elves.
It's because they're fucking knife ears. Dirty knife ears.
It's every time they come into your house, they sit on your mantle and stare at everyone.
Ugh. Exactly. You hate. I would repel them. Fucking elves.
This isn't by any means a new phenomenon. Ever since I started Warhammer and was active on those popular wargaming forums of the early to mid-2000s, I remember seeing similar attitudes. Being a dwarf fan was mostly about disliking everything else, especially elves.
Right. Okay, wait a minute. So, this is the thing. He does not. Even though he says he's part of the fandom, he doesn't get the joke. It's a fucking joke. All the shit I say about fucking knife ears doesn't honestly mean I hate the fucking elves. You know, I like elves.
I mean, you do, but it doesn't. That doesn't mean you do. So I mean,
yeah, it's shit posting. Like, dude, you don't get. I don't even honestly believe anything you have to say because anyone that likes dwarves considers it a joke. It's an in joke among dwarf likers. And it's just like it's an in joke among elf likers that, oh, here comes the smelly dwarf and his, need to break, mine rocks and shit. Oh, here's the ugly knife here, all gussied up like a fucking woodland creature, hugging trees and shit. Dude, it's a fucking joke. The two groups, it's a shared fan. It's a shared thing. I'm pretty sure if two people that like one person that likes dwarves and one person that like elves were to sit there and shit talk and make fucking I'm using air quotes racist comments about the other's particular like, they would laugh at it because it's part of the interaction.
I'm sorry, that's where you're mistaken. See, humor was disallowed about 10 years ago.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
So it's obviously veiled racism and somehow involves real world black people.
I know whenever I drive through an elf neighborhood, I lock the doors.
Right?
So do I. You can't fucking trust those elves. Always wanting to sell you shit.
Yeah.
Save the trees.
Try to pilfer stuff too.
Dwarfs are manly and strong, big beards and big muscles, toiling and building. Elves are soft and weak tree huggers, never getting their hands dirty or working real jobs.
See, this sounds like my
this
kind of
person
subreddit.
definitely knows nothing about the lore of Lord of the Rings, because elves
or
were metal.
Warhammer 40K or Warhammer Fantasy.
What were you gonna say, Terry?
Of course, maybe they weren't helped by making Orlando Bloom Legolas, because elves were metal. I mean, dwarves are too, but elves are metal.
Gay metal.
Gay. With, Moon, are you an elf lover?
No. Well, I mean, is Garrett Hedlund an elf? I gotta check.
Fucking elf lover. I can't be your friend, Moon.
They were described as effeminate pansies, again in contrast to masculine and strong dwarves. I recently went to a popular dwarf posting Twitter page, and it took me less than a minute to find a more explicit version of homophobia.
Oh, really?
It was alphaphobia.
If only Tyr was here for pearl clutching and thinking pouches.
I know. I would if he was here, he would cut those pearls hard.
Yeah. Luckily, we don't allow blacks on stream.
Damn right.
Jesus.
A lot of the language used in describing elves in these discussions mirrors the language used in homophobic insults and descriptors. Elven men are described as effeminate and weak, both of which are common stereotypical attributes of gay men.
Wait, pause. So now you're you're the one that making this equivalency shit. You're the one equating a fantasy race to homosexuals. It's not that they're the fandom doesn't equate the two together. Like when I make a joke about a fucking knife ear, I'm not thinking, oh, it's gay. I'm really bashing a gay guy when I'm talking about the dirty knife ear, or I'm calling it a tree hugger. It's like them bringing up black people are orcs. No, it's fuck.
Hey, Jack Gunsky, it looks like someone logged into your account in chat.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you logged into my account? I need to. Oh my. I need to
change
call
your
Google.
password yesterday.
So all I'm getting from this article is that elves are faggots.
No, but yeah, like elves are just like gay people, effeminate, immortal.
Taking up the ass.
They live thousands of years. They like to make jewelry of power.
They like to take it up the ass.
Does that make the dwarves like bears? Like grrr.
Wait. Tyr is talking about dwarf and hatred of elves and everything, but now something is not mathing at all. Something is not mathing.
Yeah, I want to do it. What is it mathing? Oh, the likes. We have 43 watching and only 34 likes. That's not that doesn't math.
Math is witchcraft. I don't do that.
Yeah. Let's see. The word pansy is an old slur for gay men, gaining popularity in the early 20th century. Elves are very.
It's not. That's not why people. Oh God, Jesus Christ!
Elves are very often described as very gendered terms in fantasy in general, being androgynous and other coded non-binary things.
No. Oh God, no. Oh Lord.
Elven gender representation is often contrasted against again to the straight-laced masculinity of dwarfs as effeminate. There's also the category of what I like to call fictional slurs, where elves are not just described with this aforementioned homophobic language, but also with racial slurs. Knife ears is the most commonly used by basically everyone.
Wait a
Almost
minute.
I
Hold on. Wait. Pause. No. All right. So you. The reason why people call it's a common slur to call elves knife ears because their ears are pointed. There's a very prominent sharp point at their ears. So it's a common feature that anyone can notice and goes, "Oh, fucking knife ear."
How did? First of all, I think knife ears.
Pointy-eared leaf lovers.
But
Yeah.
why is that considered a racist slur as opposed to like a physical descriptor?
It's like it's in the way you say it. Like if you were to say, "Oh, hey, knife ear," and versus fucking knife ears.
Did you forget about the chapter in Lord of the Rings they left out where the elves had to ride at the back of the bus?
Apparently, I did.
They had to ride back.
Well, that's because it wasn't a bus. They had to ride at the back of the elephant.
Yeah, they were in the back of the wagon.
Back of the wagon, knife ear.
Get to the back of the ent.
Knife ears is the most commonly.
No, they weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed on the ants. They had to walk behind the ants.
Knife ears is the most commonly used by basically everyone, almost IP neutral term. This is where I touch on the issue of fantasy racism. Most high fantasy stories I've interacted with have the issues of fantasy racism in their world. R.A. Salvatore's Drisdorud some German sounding stories. Warhammer stories such as
these worlds have racism aside from the fact that it makes a great plot construction.
Yeah, hold on.
For the
Siri, what's a plot
groups.
device?
Also,
Exactly.
maybe they're
It's
trying to make
maybe-
the world like a little more realistic because
Yeah,
people
it reflects on the world as we know it.
because people who are different like a lot of the times don't get along.
Well, not even that. Like, okay. So at some point, everybody's coming to conflict, and some of those conflicts really over to traditions and issues. You know, maybe in the past, the dwarves did something to the elves where the elves were like, "Fuck you guys," and don't speak to us. And maybe it was vice versa. And now there's a tradition why these two races don't get along. There's a reason. Just like in our world. Maybe there's a reason why this group doesn't like that group and they can't stand each other. That's why every time they see each other, they start fucking fights.
Let's see.
You know, it's realism.
Warhammer stories such as Gotrek Gurnison, which centers a very
Godfrey Gunderson.
yeah,
Whatever.
Shut up.
which centers a very dour dwarf named Gotrek as protagonist. Lord of the Rings, Dragon Age, Witcher, World of Warcraft, and many others. Some of these stories are actually trying to deal with the themes of racism, badly, but most just keep it as this intrinsic part of the genre, background radiation left by the explosion of fantasy literature Tolkien set off.
Hold on. Okay, all right. So if there wasn't conflict in your story, what is the point of your fucking story? Like if everything was sunshine and rainbows, the genre wouldn't exist.
Yeah, and also like your heroes having conflict with each other kind of makes for better drama, and you know.
No, Jack, don't you know that they don't have a conflict? They're all friends, and their mission is to go out and help the dragon resolve his toothache issue so that they can go out for drinks with the dragon later and share all the treasure they found along the way.
Look, this is the thing. If someone doesn't overcome something, like you start in a story, you start your main character or the characters start off in one place, and by the end, they should be changed somehow, either for the worse or for the better. And if there's a conflict between two characters via race, these are all the reasons why they should be friends, but they can't stand each other via racial hatred. And by the end of the story, after working together for so long, you realize it's just fucking skin deep. We have much more in common. Like the previous example of Gimli and Legolas.
It's basically any movie with Sidney Poitier in it.
Ha!
Just black and white guy have to work together and learn to overcome their differences.
Yeah, buddy cop movies have been a thing for a long time. I don't know why this guy hates 48 Hours.
Exactly. Fucking Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
This guy burned his copies of Lethal Weapon.
Clearly.
Okay, but it isn't real, right? You cannot commit hate crimes against orcs. Here's my counter question. Why do you want to do racism in fantasy?
Because it makes for conflict. It drives story forward. It creates growth opportunities. It creates narrative opportunities. It creates little scenes where, dwarves do it this way and elves do it that way. But you know what? If we did it this way, which is a combination of our two ways, it's even better. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. And story drives forward.
Why do you want to see it in the fantasy? If fantasy racism is a requirement for your enjoyment, I think it's time for you to reevaluate your relationship to the fantasy genre.
You're no true fan if you like.
He's a tourist. He's a fucking tourist, and it's clear from what he's saying that he doesn't. He likes the thin veneer of I like the shiny look of the dwarves because big beards and herdy-der, strong and manly. But I just want them to get along with everybody. But that's not the fucking dwarf.
Mr. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm starting to get the feeling that this person actually wrote the character development arc for Captain Marvel.
It is possible. I don't know. I didn't see who wrote this. But this is the type of get along gang bullshit we've been seeing since the 80s, where this is aimed at little children who all should just, why can't they all just get along? Because this is more association with the real world. Look, I think this is just childish crybaby nonsense. You want to like dwarves, you like dwarves. Who fucking cares? Grow the fuck up. Oh my god, there's conflict in the world. Oh, but delicate fifis. No, this person's an absolute tourist.
Well, I mean, pronouns in the bio: she, they, critic, journalist, essayist, student, dilettante.
Did you put up the picture, Moon? I didn't see a link for the picture.
No picture. Just their artistic rendition, which I've not been able to get a separate link for, but it's in their profile. So if you wanna,
what's this ass clown's name?
Let's see.
Asati, Aasat.
Yeah.
Asati.
And they
I hope they're non-binary, just so they can also be a fantasy creature.
No, they are. It says on their page, she. They.
It looks like basically everything they write about is about fantasy.
This is one of those deconstructionist assholes that's building a career off just criticizing things.
Yeah.
Look,
fantasy games, mythology.
Yeah, people like this are never going to be happy because it's in their financial interest not to. So they've got to find something to deconstruct or whine about, just like Anita Sarkeesian did. It's part of their money grab.
Except for this person wouldn't be happy if Elon Musk promised them $1 million a day if they would just be happy.
No, look, you can't be happy. Some people are just born miserable.
Wait a minute. Laura Cannon and female Space Marines. You are instantly a fucking tourist. Those words alone. Fuck you, ma'am. Zip zim zappity doo, Scooby Doo, Skibbity
Oh,
Bop.
hey, we don't do magic here. Okay, I already said that. No
He's
math.
speaking Ebonics.
Oh,
Wait, I thought you didn't allow blacks on this show. Wait, what am I doing here? Oh, that's right. I'm a ginger.
Wait a minute, that came out wrong.
Is it because it makes it grounded or realistic? Fantasy very often treats race as a biological fact, where people are different because of their racial attributes. It's much more literal in fantasy. That dwarves and elves aren't even the same, like, species. Dwarves are
No,
tough.
and if you're talking about Tolkien fantasy, they don't even have the same creator.
Yes, their gods aren't even the fucking same.
like a tourist isn't gonna know that.
True. I don't know why I'm arguing with a tourist.
Dwarfs are tough, elves are nimble, etc. This has no bearing on reality. I'd like to pause so we can think about that for a second.
This has no bearing on reality. Amazing.
This isn't how real dwarves and elves are. Where this kind of
There's nothing I fear more than Peter Dinklage's battle axe.
where this kind of rhetoric is mostly used by white supremacists.
Oh, fucking hell.
There it is.
In addition to this, racial hatred is common in games like Dungeons & Dragons and Warhammer Fantasy, where you are so racist towards some other fantasy race that you get a bonus for attacking them.
No, wait a minute. That is so fucking wrong. That is utterly Jack Rant, fucking tourist. You have no clue what you're talking about. That is not how any of this shit works. There's fantasy racism. Like I said earlier, there are times in the history of the world's creator or the lore, the canon of the lore, that these two people have a legitimate reason for not liking each other. And yes, sometimes it's bloody fucking conflict. And sometimes it really makes if you're going to play that character, if you're going to be that character, you have to remember that this is also part of that, that character's background, that's his racial background. Dwarves hate the fucking elves because of the Knight of Crystals for some odd reason.
Crystal Knight?
No.
You talk like that, and this tourist is all.
Sorry.
Where you are so racist towards some other fantasy race that you get a bonus for attacking them. These are now on their way out, but it is important to keep in mind that this is the climate that still dominates the genre.
And that's why those games that are getting rid of fantasy racism is starting to fucking die. They're getting rid of the conflict, and it's starting to become shit.
In my last essay, I mentioned the Thermian argument. Thermian argument is very commonly used in the discussion of fantasy racism. Using an example from Warhammer Fantasy, the reason why dwarves hate elves and vice versa, but way lesser degree, is because of the War of the Beard, a long and cruel war between dwarfs and high elves that was being manipulated and manufactured by a third party. Hey, here's an actual interest.
You just explained to why in that setting there is a hatred between the two races, the War of the Beards. And there's a third race involved that both of them fucking hate because of the War of the Beards, the Dark Elves. You are a fucking tourist. You know nothing of what you speak, and you're trying to speak from authority. Bitch, stop. Let us have our escapism. If you don't like it, go make your own little gay little fucking fantasy shit in your own little fucking sandbox and leave our shit alone. Let us make the dwarf jokes. Let us make the gay elf jokes. Leave us a fucking alone, and you do you. Stop ruining shit you have no interest in. All you fucking want to do is enter the space, make it gay, make it weak, and then once it's dead and once it's turned into something you like, you're just gonna fucking move on to the next thing. You did it with fucking Star Wars, you did it with fucking Star Trek, and now you're coming for Warhammer, and you're fucking coming for D&D. And D&D is dying because of you fucks. D&D used to be the game. Everyone played D and fucking D, and now D&D is fucking dying. You bitches are killing it. You killed fucking Magic. Magic is fucking dying because you commie fucks decide, oh, well, it can't be this way because it's not inclusive enough. Fuck your inclusion. Fuck,
Well, you see,
go
they
away.
have to go. They have to go and take over IPs like this because they can't create their own and get it off the ground because it's rubbish.
It is. It fucking is. Like if you honestly, you are in bitch. You are an infection. You are a parasite. You drain the life of everything other people love and have built up. And once it's dead in a husk, you say, "Oh well, the reason why they don't like it is because they're racist, or they don't like it because we took all the racism out of it, and they were just wanting to play it for the racism." No, we didn't want to play for the racism. We played because we love the game and the lore and the shit behind it. Just like I looked over your fucking article list and I saw female space marines. I instantly knew what you were about. No,
Oh yeah, that's one that
legitimate-
that's one that we exposed Quiz to in the past stream.
Yeah. No legitimate lover of Warhammer 40K would ever utter the words female space marines unless it was to mock the concept. Because
All right.
yes.
I've got a solution for this. Okay, what I'm going to do is write the official history of elves and dwarves because I will be the authority on this. And the elves and dwarves used to hate each other, but they got together when a economy enemy came in to steal their jobs over the southern border, and those were the gnomes.
Fucking gnomes. Always the fucking gnomes.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Dwarves steal a lot and murder people, and the elves overreact and burn their neighborhoods down. I'm going to turn the elves into Klansmen by the end. But
Mr. Jack, which one imported the orcs?
oh no, see, there's no orcs. No, they're all the bad guys are going to be gnomes.
Fucking gnomes.
See, they
don't
work
trust those
cheap.
motherfuckers.
And then they started coming over, sneaking in to get more jobs, and they were like, they took our jobs, and they decided to put their
worst-
differences aside.
The worst part is that they steal our underpants.
They do. Look, there's
Well, they've got a plan for profit out of it, don't they?
somewhere in there.
They took my underpants. Heard the dirt.
Hey, here's an actual interesting addition. Institutes creating racial tensions for their benefit. Together, they would...
Like universities.
No, that's the wrong character, Dante. That's the troll in the Alabaster residence.
the necromancer.
Excuse me? These undead alone didn't do anything.
Together, they would be too strong, but divided, they are easier to manipulate. War of the Beard is a story about how racism is very stupid and not good for you, and how
No.
war is...
Wait a minute. You clearly don't understand the War of the Beards. You clearly don't understand it. The War of the Beards was to divide the two races who had a fairly good relationship thanks to two leaders who became almost brothers. The War of the Beards was to divide them to make it easier to conquer them. If the dwarves weren't allied with the elves, they were so much easier to fuck over, and vice versa. That's why the war. It's not about racism. It's about what happens when two friends break up. You don't understand the War of the Beards, bitch. Stop.
Conquer. That's
Sorry.
a tactic as old as time.
I have learned more about a fictional war that I never cared about because of this stupid article. So I don't like this person.
let's see.
Sorry.
No, it's
Yes.
okay.
Story about how racism is very stupid and not good for you, and how war is about dehumanizing your enemy, and often the side not taking part in the war benefits the most. This is
Wait, a war between two groups that are literally neither of them human is about dehumanizing your enemy state. Oh,
This cunt does not. Again, she does not. Tourist, you're a fucking tourist. I'm dismissing everything you have to say.
This is almost too good and subtle for the average Warhammer fan, and so
No, it's
War of the Beard is used as the Thermian argument for why dwarfs hate elves.
It's a valid reason why the dwarves hate the elves.
She
Especially
just called
because
everybody that plays Warhammer low IQ.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
it gets even better. There's an even better reason why the dwarves hate the elves. Because there's a thing called the Book of fucking Grudges. And it's the dwarves literally are vindictive motherfuckers. They will write down every slight and they will repay that slight no matter how low it gets. And if they don't repay that slight, it fucking kills them. So that's one of the reasons why they fucking hate the elves. There's a huge grudge in the Book of Grudges that it can never be erased until they wipe each other from the fucking map.
Now, see,
so the dwarves are the Cape Buffalo of the fantasy world. Got it.
No, in Warhammer Fantasy, like, yeah, dwarves don't forget a grudge, and that's why they can't stand each other. That is one of the reasons why it is so ingrained in dwarves to repay every slight, every defeat, every time you pissed them off and they did nothing. Oh yes, it's going in the book, and if it's not struck out, it will kill them.
So,
That's how bad it is.
So basically, the dwarves are women.
Yes. The problem is the Thermian argument is one that says that you can't cite the text as a defense to what's being argued. So it's like using the Bible to explain why Jesus did stuff. It's a very slippery way of shutting down a conversation. She keeps using the Thermian argument as an excuse why these people don't know what they're talking about, but then it's saying that in the text there's this racism. Well, if it's explained within the text, then you're not allowed to use that defense. So this is stupid. This is a circular argument this idiot's making.
Well, you're not supposed to use the text. You're supposed to go around and interview actual dwarves and elves.
You're supposed to go find the original dwarves and elves and figure out why they hate each other. Yes.
The only dwarf I know has a restraining order on me because I keep demanding his pot of gold.
That's
Mr.
not a
Jack,
dwarf,
this
that's a
person doesn't
leprechaun.
know how not
Racist.
to make circular arguments.
Let's see. But that's not how racism works. That's not how bigotry works. Transgenders did not betray the cis people in the primordial times that led to the wars of gender, and that is why I can't wear nice dresses in town after dark.
Wait a minute,
I'm pretty
pause.
sure that's a good explanation for it.
The tendency...
Pause. How did it evolve into transgender? Like, wait, I'm missing the through line here. I'm missing
You said pause. Do you want both front, both back, one of each, left side, right side? Can you elaborate?
I'm not getting it. Like, how? Oh, fucking go to hell with this. This bitch is stupid.
I'm here, so I'm already there.
Let's see. The tendency of fantasy to explain and justify racism and bigotry via this both sides argument or historical wrongdoings is not only an inaccurate way to describe how these systems work, but also harmful to understanding real-world racism and bigotry. The fantasy genre can absolutely deal with these themes in an adult manner. N.K. Jemisin has written fantasy stories that deal with racism and living in racist systems, instead of just using it as background noise, because other fantasy writers have done so as well. I can't blame any...
You can't... Okay. You can't create two races with a detailed history and not have them come into conflict at some point. It does not make it. Humans are not like that. So we, as humans, we base all of our stories off of how we are as a species. It is impossible that even if we were friends at a long time, at some point we had a conflict. Take England and fucking France. friend. At some point, they were buddy, and then someone pissed someone off, and they went to war, and now they're friends again. And then someone pissed someone off, and they went to war. And then they decided, you know what? This war is really fucking bad, and we should stop fucking fighting. But there's still that old hatred. There's still, if you ask an Englishman about a Frenchman, and they'll tell you, the fucking French. Just like targeting the emus.
Yeah. Although I would side with the emus, probably.
I totally would side with the emus. Love you, Ty, but fuck you.
To be fair, is there a single person in their right mind on this planet that would not go, the fucking French?
Yeah,
they're really good at going in, breaking stuff, and then wandering off.
Say Della, at least 1 in 3 Frenchmen, maybe 1 in 4.
Yeah, I can't blame anyone. I can't blame anyone for thinking fantasy is sometimes a childish genre, because so many writers keep seeing the world in so immature ways. Let's get back to dwarf posting.
See it in realistic ways.
This is no way.
No matter how. Go ahead.
This is in no way. This is in no way saying that all fans of fantasy dwarfs are bigots. Absolutely not. I am such a fan of fantasy dwarfs that I watch the kind of awful Hobbit movies annually because I like some of the characters and their designs so much. My favorite part of the Rings of Power show was the friendship between Elrond and Durin. But I also But I also really like elves. But I also really like elves. I like orcs, tieflings. I don't base my liking of fantasy tropes on hating something else. I think that's a fairly normal attitude to have. A lot of dwarf posting relies on using language that is based on actual discriminatory language and slurs, and I'm always wary of spaces that use language like that casually. These things don't exist.
I'm with you there, Gunsky. Anyone that watches Rings of Power and likes it unironically as a representation of that universe is absolutely a tourist.
Yeah.
Yup.
A lot of dwarf posting relies on using language that is based on actual discriminatory language and slurs, and I'm always wary of spaces that use language like that casually. These things don't exist in a vacuum. Dwarf posting at its worst is a troubling mix of fantasy racism and homophobia. And if you need that to enjoy your favorite fantasy faction, then it's entirely possible that you don't really like them that much to begin with.
Tourists, kindly go back to your sandbox and shut the fuck up. You bitch.
They've been banned from the sandbox since that suffocating incident.
Wait, pause. Wait a minute. Read that PS. Just watch. I'm gonna get comments like rock and stone. You don't even know what that fucking means. You're not gonna get comments like rock and fucking stone.
Rock and stone is like what, dwarvish for blood and soil?
Yes. No. It's in the game in the fucking Deep Rock Galactic. A cheer is rock and stone, because they're fucking dwarves.
Cheer salute.
Blood and soil.
For Carl.
I knew it. This
Carl.
is
all rock and stone.
Did I hear a rock and stone?
Yeah, that's all about how.
Oh wait.
It's about the alpha side they committed in the 40s.
For Carl.
No, the alpha side was in the 50s. The 40s was something else.
that was when they killed the air quote elves.
All right.
This bitch is a fucking tourist and she should burn in hell.
So
go
there we
the fuck
have.
Away.
Be more understanding of your elf friends.
Fuck the elves.
Possibly offer them reparations.
I don't pay nice years to do shit, but climb trees and get my goddamn fruit.
All right. Well, that's all I had for tonight, gentlemen. So I'll take a moment to shill my co-hosts and guests. Let's see. Jack Gunsky has Quippers United on his channel Sunday 7 p.m. Eastern, and he'd also like to shill out his friend Tier.
Yes, Tier has his midnight show, which is starts at 11:55 on his channel. Saturday nights. Tonight's Saturday night's guest will be Kiverdam, actually. First time on the program.
Nice.
All right. And let's see, Moonshock has his Twitch channel linked in the description, where he plays games that aren't as good as Super Seducer, and he'd like to shill his friend Will Forge.
I hear he's going to be playing a game Saturday afternoon around 5 p.m. Eastern on his Twitch channel.
All right. And let's see, Terry is a stream slut. He's on anything that's on YouTube. He's on Quippers United. He's on The Corner. He's on Johnny Hellcat streams. He's on Six of Sober streams. He's on Mr. Adams and Hammer's Minions Nights. He's on the Midnight Show.
If you throw a rock at a stream, you'll probably hit Terry.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
And if you throw a rock at a person on a stream, you'll probably hit Will.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jack, anything you'd like to show?
Nah, I'm good. I just kind of show up places. Apparently, usually late.
And Della, anything you'd like to show?
Nah, much like Jack, I kind of show up places, except I don't exactly tell people who I really am.
Again, I'm trying to figure out who the real Jack Cochran. I don't know who to shoot. Tell me something only Jack would know.
Would you know that then?
Right?
That sounds like a
Okay,
lie.
gotta shoot the other one.
Okay, well, I'll shoot the black one. Yeah, I'll shoot him.
Quick, throw down a squirrel and see what happens.
Oh, get me started.
I'm going to get my gun.
All right. Let's see. Well, we might not be back next week. If we are, it will be on Saturday. But I'll have to see about that. So.
Am I painting my room again?
I don't know.
Probably the whole house this time.
I need to really stop painting.
All right. So we'll see you. We'll see you guys later.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.